Hello, everyone. Welcome to Frontier Opening Bell. It's Tuesday, the 10th of June. Welcome to the show. Quite a number of African markets were closed for the Muslim holiday Friday, Monday, including Nigeria, but we're starting off the markets all reopening today. So you can see a number of closed sessions on Monday, but the Nairobi market was 1.31%. Monday, the GSE in South Africa was 0.05%. Also on the Monday, just quite eked out, just 5 basis points. The Zimbabwe stock market gained 0.63%. Also on Monday, it was a flattish Monday, 6,005 reading on the composite index for the Ghana Stock Exchange. Just a summary of where we were over the holiday weekend. The rand was trading stronger on the dollar by 0.4% Monday to start the week. 1771 is the handle for the rand on the dollar, just as we got news early this Tuesday that the World Bank has approved $1.5 billion in infrastructure funding support for South Africa. Of course, that country needs that much money, even much bigger size of support. If you look at the latest OECD report on South Africa discussing the 10-year of a lack of strong growth in Africa's most advanced economy. But let's take down the market and move on and see some of the headlines as we start the week in Eastern Central Africa. Ethiopia's central bank, or the National Bank of Ethiopia, says it had a meeting with the top officials of the KCB Group of Kenya, one of the biggest and iconic banking names, looking to step into the now reformed banking sector in Ethiopia, the biggest and most populated economy north of the Kenya's corridor. Of course, the Ethiopian authorities moving forward to open the banking space for foreign banks to come in. KCB Group of Kenya says is looking into coming in. Nigeria's Access Bank also says the card of Ethiopia is still on the table anytime the conditions are good enough to get into that market. So that's the latest as far as that banking space in that corridor is concerned. In the meantime, Rwanda has officially exited the Central African bloc because of the problems over the Eastern DR Congo that's been on the table for quite some time. Meanwhile, there's a deal on the table with India with Ekoti Coffee to boost production. Rwanda is continuing to ramp up its own coffee production, looking at the massive exports and coffee production by its neighbor Uganda and, of course, Ethiopia to the north. The EU has, pretty bad news for Tanzania Airlines. The EU has banned all Tanzanian air carriers from the airspace of the European countries with immediate effect. And Gabon says it's withdrawn from the European Union Fisheries Agreement after 18 years. Those are some of the headlines as we get to the busy rest of the week here. Let's get on. Look at the West Africa. Sierra Leone has launched the first renewable-powered 5G network in the West African country. That's some good news in terms of connectivity for network, for data, and for every other thing in between. Netflix is raising its subscription a tariff in Nigeria for the third time in 2 years. And Ghana's cedi has become the world's best performing currency in 2025, thanks to the new administration of Dr. John Mahama and the new central bank governor and the finance minister, who's taking a whole new approach to Ghana's economic and markets renaissance. In the meantime, Ghana is looking to start one cedi levy, full levy, effective June the 16th. Prepare for that if you're in Accra and the rest of the West African resource economy. And the EBRD, that's your European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, welcomed AFDB's president, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, and the head of the International Finance Corporation for Africa, Mokte Diop, at headquarters in London, as the EBRD looks to expand its operations further into sub-Saharan Africa, including Nigeria and the Republic of Benin. Let me take you further. Go to Southern Africa. And of course, the big news I was talking about, the World Bank approving $1.5 billion US. That's roughly 24 billion rand on the table to support infrastructure that South Africa sorely needs. It's been a decade of underinvestment in infrastructure in Africa's most advanced economies. So you see the problem with Transnet, the logistics giant, for example, and electricity, Eskom, and others. So what South Africa is looking everywhere, under the table, wherever it can get funding support, outside investment to drive the economy, drive infrastructure, and boost productivity and growth. In the meantime, in business news, Pepkor and Mr. Price Group say they're looking to open 600 new outlets in South Africa, while the IMF is pushing for Zimbabwe's ZiG as the country's sole currency, not to have a dual position with the US dollar. And Ariston wants to ditch the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange listing and go to the VFEX, the dollar-only exchange, as it looks to raise about $18 million in capital expenditure. That is the latest from this company. And Omani Fund has replaced Russia's Alrosa in the Angolan diamond miner Katoka. That's the mining latest commodity news out of Angola in southern African region, the southern part of that region. Let's move on. Take it to the north. Of course, quite a number of the markets in the northern corridor of the continent will be reopening today. Spain says it's investing 481 million euros in Morocco's fruits and vegetables. That was in the first quarter. A look back data in terms of how Morocco is supporting what called agriculture exports, is pushing so much into Spain and the rest of the European Union. Fruits and vegetables in the first quarter, roughly half a billion euros from Spain in terms of imports. And France and Morocco say they have an agreement on roadmap to jumpstart energy cooperation between the two countries, while Algeria is looking at the Libyan market in a new trade push. And finally, on the show this Tuesday, the African Export-Import Bank has sent out a formal response to Fitch Rating that downgraded the Pan-African Trade Facility Finance Organization. According to Afrexim Bank, a press statement released early Tuesday from its headquarters in Cairo, Egypt, the Afrexim Bank says it faults the basis upon which and the framework upon which Fitch Ratings downgraded Afrexim Bank just last week. And you can read up the rest of that online. You can find that story also on our website at frontierafricareports.com. Go on the top stories, click it, and you can read up the latest 6-paragraph statement from African Export-Import Bank in reference to the latest Fitch Rating downgrade news. Let's keep it as for this Tuesday as we get to the rest of the week. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the week.